What is going on, everybody? It is episode 654 of Pop Culture Crisis. We're already having a malfunction on the crisis meter.
Great.
My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please, so I can fix it.
It's literally always something. Hi, crisis actors. It's Mary. Unfortunately, Dane sent us a breakup text. He said, it's not you, it's me. He didn't want to hang out with us this week, but thankfully, we have a returning guest, the Bertman himself. And you said you were last on in October last year?
It was either October, it might have been December.
I have no sense of time anymore.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I don't think
but
this
it has
year.
been a minute.
They did.
Certainly.
They said that because I got the date wrong on the episode again.
You did?
I deleted the 6.
This is why I need to keep an eye on you.
I deleted the 6 to make it 17. So it was like, it's 1-6. I deleted the 6 and then forgot to add the 7. So it just said, it didn't even say 0-1. It just said 7-1. 24.
Crisis meter okay?
Yes, we're good now.
Okay.
I fixed it. So, yes, it's been a while since you've been on.
Yeah.
They missed you. Well, introduce yourself to the new people.
I'm Chris Bertman, and I'm tired of living through major historical events.
Do you think
that?
Do you think that actually happens more? Or is it just because we have the internet, so we're aware of more? Like, okay, think of all the historical events just connected to the United States that back in the days would have been on the news, right? But now you're not just getting those. You have to get the historical events going on in France, and the historical events going on in Brazil, and the historical events going on in Russia, in China, and all these other places. So it feels like you're actually living through more than you actually are. You always lived through them before. Now you're just cognizant.
This feeling kind of popped up with the millennial generation because
Yes.
the internet just flushed out and boomed.
Yeah.
When we were growing up.
I love the meme that says, like, anything happens ever, French women, and it shows them taking their tops off.
There are French women right now probably protesting with their tops off.
Much like there's,
I have no idea why.
much like I say no matter, it doesn't matter what day of the week, it doesn't matter when, there's a women's summit going on somewhere. Women are patting themselves on the back about something somewhere.
Yeah, like, you know how you can
Yeah.
Google your birthday with the phrase Florida man and it'll come up with a headline about a Florida man doing something insane?
Now I want to do
You
it.
should do that.
You can just Google women's summits happening today and it's always like a list of women's summits around the globe.
I was watching these videos last night. It was all these things. It's the hashtag stay hydrated, and there's just
Ew.
nothing more.
Nourishing.
Like it's
It's
like women, they
nourishing.
carry around their gigantic bottle of water every day.
My wife
and,
does that.
And they do this, right? And then like anything
Well,
happens.
I do have this,
Oh,
but this is full of Gatorade. So it's not hydrating myself. I'm drinking juice.
Is that actually a Stanley Cup?
It is actually a Stanley Cup name brand, but I didn't buy it myself. It was a gift.
From who?
My dad. For Christmas, like years ago. I didn't even know what a Stanley was. So it's not my fault.
Yeah, and the point is like these women are talking about like they're like, I said something bitchy to my boyfriend or I did this, and they're like, well, did you drink enough water today? Like, if there was a female president, she could drop a nuke on someone, and as long as she drank a glass of water and told her therapist, she would justify it. Yeah, it's totally true. Like,
She'd forgive
she's
herself.
like, look, I hadn't drank enough water that day. It happened.
Isn't that like literally what people do with toddlers? Just kind of process of elimination.
Yes.
To figure out why they're crying.
Yes.
Doesn't say anything good about women these days, but.
No. Guys, we got a bunch of stuff to get into today, but before we get started, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here yet already. We are past 122,000 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. Remember to share the videos with your friends, family, loved ones, people you hate, people at women's marches and women's summits, things like that. The more people you share it with, the faster this show grows. It is the best way to help us gain subscribers and more traction, so thank you again. And remember that all Super Chats, $20 and over, we will interrupt the discussion and we will read those Super Chats right then and there. Perhaps you have a story or somebody did something unbelievably awful and then forgave themselves by drinking a gallon of water.
What have you forgiven yourself
Yeah.
for? Drop
Like,
that in the chat.
Whatever is going to happen, those ladies, they're going to forgive themselves. They're going to talk to their therapist and they're going to forgive themselves.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we getting into today? Well, yesterday I put out a tweet because I read this article from the Hollywood Reporter where the director of the upcoming movie Twisters, which of course we are going to see tomorrow night, director's name is Lee Isaac Chung, should be Lee Isaac Chad, because what he said was that this movie will have absolutely no climate propaganda, and kind of lamented the idea that movies be used for that at all. And I just said, wow, I think I just came.
That's super
That's actually
refreshing.
what you tweeted.
Yes.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's word for word.
That was solid.
It's so
I saw it happen, folks.
it's so simple, right? It should be that easy, but apparently it's not. So we're going to talk about that because, again, we're going to see that movie tomorrow night. Also, there is a new show out from Amazon that has hit what we have dubbed the woke trifecta. As much as we hate that word, the show is called Lady Jane. And how would you describe this show?
Okay, so it's based on a young adult novel that's based on Lady Jane Grey, who, if you didn't know, was ruling England for about 9 days before she was executed. That's from my cursory research. But essentially, they have made it into, like all young adult fiction, it's just about gay people. It's just all gay, gay, gay. It's like the CW, like Amazon Prime shows are turning into CW shows.
But you said that it's The King.
Yeah, they've reached a woke trifecta, is what people called it, with the King of England in the show being black, gay, and disabled at the same time.
It's ding, 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 ding. It's kind of like winning on the Price is Right.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
So we are going to talk about that. Also, what we feared most last week when we watched that awful Office TikTok video, it has turned itself into a trend that we must squash now before it gets out of hand.
We single-handedly are going to stop
Yes.
the Office TikTok trend.
So we got that. We got a bunch of other stuff. If you guys are ready, we can just go ahead and get started. Mary, you ready?
I know I am.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. First things first, guys. While we get started, I want to offer a big congratulations to two friends of our channel, specifically. Vera Dark hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. That is a really, really big accomplishment, and her channel has been doing gangbusters lately.
Yeah.
It's fantastic to see. So I want you guys to go and check out her channel and subscribe if you have not done so already over there. She covers a lot of stuff in regards to entertainment, video games. She live streams all the time.
Maybe she'll finally get her fight with Alyssa Mercante after
Yes,
this.
perhaps.
Right?
That could be what it is. And I don't know if this happened on exactly the same day, but I think it was within a day of each other.
Yeah.
Other friend of the channel, Tony Merkel, hit 100,000 subscribers.
Literally the same
over
day.
on the confessionals.
Nice.
It is fair to point out also that he hit 100,000 subscribers with 666 videos. Do with that
really?
Do with that
Wow.
information what you will.
You checked? Like, you know, okay, that's
It's
weird.
up there right now. 100K, 666 videos.
That's
We
impressive.
are coming up on our
Yep.
666th episode,
Nice.
and it's
Noise.
making me nervous.
There's a $20 right there.
From Not That John Stewart. Bert.
Me.
He has returned.
I-
Is the Bert cult still active,
I
or
don't
did you
know.
disband?
I don't really
Also,
know.
it's muddled now because they refuse to call me by my name, so I get called Bert all the time.
But now we have the real Bert.
I'm so sorry.
There's two Berts here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There's two Berts
Brett.
here.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Bert and Murney.
Yes, you can be Murney. All right, let's get started then, shall we? Need I say more? So, big news, ladies and gentlemen. The Donald Trump fight, high top the assassination pro model sneaker is now out.
Are you
Or
gonna
no,
get
I'm
one?
sorry. It's on pre-order. I don't
gonna
have.
get a pair?
I don't think I have $299 that I can justify spending on this. But you know,
You're gonna see them ungrailed.
you
any
want
minute now.
want clothes drip, not blood drip. And in this case, you know
Here's the thing. It would have been
he should have made earrings.
what?
Well, he got shot in the ear.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. But they shouldn't have put the image of him on the shoe. I
Feels
feel like,
insensitive to the guy that died.
yeah.
Yeah.
You think so? I mean, I think that the image of him on the shoe doesn't belong there just aesthetically,
Yeah.
but also the context, given that people were injured and died. And,
Maybe if the money went to the family.
That would have been.
well, it's going to the campaign, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And not just that, I decided to check the website. We love the guy. These are some of the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm
The black
sorry.
ones
These,
or
these ones right here, the golf ones, just no.
I'm not
I
a
don't think he
sneakerhead.
wears them himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not a sneakerhead. They're all ugly to me.
They're all kind of like, just no.
you're a bit of a sneakerhead.
No.
A little bit.
I have shoes. I'm not a sneakerhead.
shoes.
Is like you keep the boxes and you rate them and you keep.
You
them,
don't even wear them.
Yeah, like no, I'm not. I'm not
Put them on a
serious.
shelf.
Just those are like
The red ones are pretty bad.
those are bad.
I want Brett Cooper to make a video where she rates all the Trump shoes.
She should do that, right?
'Cause she's done that, right?
These look like Trump hired someone from Skechers
Yeah.
to make him shoes.
Yeah.
Look,
Not.
we wouldn't be fair if we weren't willing to criticize the king as well.
The boots are kind of, the boots are good. The tan boots.
There is a fantastic channel. I don't remember this guy's name now, where all he does is dunk on like bad Timberlands.
Oh God.
What makes them bad?
Because they have it's like the only ones you can get are the originals. Those are good. The original Timberlands are good. The rest of them, like they make all of these off-brand models and these other ones. They're really bad, and the channel is just dunking on them, and it's really really funny.
Wait, did you see that video where the guy was like filming this guy's shoes, and he was like, "No way, yeah."
I wouldn't wear any of these. I wouldn't wear any.
Would you make fun of someone for wearing these?
I wouldn't make fun of them. I would.
I think those boots are cool. The tan boots.
Those right there.
Yeah, because there's no like super overt Trump.
The American flag on the.
The American flag is cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Violates flag code though. I'm pretty sure.
The never surrender low top.
Yeah.
We just live in a post serious society.
Since we're talking about Trump, I just thought we should mention John Hinckley Jr.'s take.
He's gotten in on the discussion.
Yeah, John Hinckley Jr. just tweeted only a couple of hours ago, "Violence is not the way to go. Give peace a chance."
Be like
So brave.
John,
so stunning and brave.
Like
of him.
if John Wilkes Booth said this after the.
If anyone weren't in the place to say this, it would be him.
Feel free to speak your mind on whatever topic you want now because of this.
Yeah.
Like nobody can tell you don't have a right to speak on it.
He has the audacity and the caucasity to
Absolutely
say this.
does. I wonder, there's a thing, right, where it's like a lot of times I'll type up something on a thought on a specific subject, and I'm like, am I really the person to, like, no, this is outside my realm. I'll stay away from it. He's just like, nah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
No
I mean, at
self-awareness.
least somebody is condemning violence.
It would be like Kim
Not seeing enough of
Kardashian.
that.
It would be like Kim Kardashian being like, we need to chill on the plastic surgery.
When John
Yeah.
Hinckley Jr. is the voice of reason in the political discourse, you have something to worry about.
Things are going too far, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
All right, and I want to point out, like, I think that maybe I'm just too terminally online and too out of it these days, because I didn't even think about the idea that the sneakers were disrespectful to the family until
Yeah.
you pointed it out.
Yeah.
Like it is.
Yeah, I didn't think of that way either. But if I were, related to one of the victims of it, I would be thinking it's pretty distasteful.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The picture was like super badass, like just
Of course, yeah.
instantly iconic.
Yes.
But as soon as people started putting the merch up, I was like, I don't know how I feel
Yeah.
about this man.
So, like, if nobody had died, it would have been okay, but
More
yeah.
so.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of a lot of very, very smart and verbose people that could probably give you like a very, very well-reasoned sounding argument as to why it's okay.
Well, if Trump is good at anything, it's business and
Yes.
it's marketing himself, right?
Yeah.
So
All right.
I see why he would make this decision. And additionally, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Melania Trump put out her own statement after the attempt, and Shailene Woodley, who I only know from The Fault in Our Stars, she reposted that statement on her Instagram story.
Was she in Divergent?
Yes, she was.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
And people were really mad at this because she's an actress and she reposted Melania Trump's statement, even though there's nothing objectionable about what Melania said.
She doesn't make any commentary. She just reposted the statement.
Just reposted it.
Okay.
And this one response said, "The girl who said she only cuts her hair on a full moon, the spiritualist to MAGA pipeline is wild." And they're also claiming that because Shailene Woodley dated Aaron Rodgers, that Aaron Rodgers is actually to blame for red pilling her and making her a Trump
Not
supporter.
completely incorrect.
You think?
Oh, dudes totally red pill their wives. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything against that, but it's just like they're calling her a pick-me for posting this statement. And there's nothing in Melania Trump's statement you could possibly object to, except for the fact that she is married to Trump, who they hate.
Isn't choosing to not even support, but just post something from a politically maligned viewpoint the opposite of a pick-me? Or am I missing? Wouldn't the pick-me be whatever is the most mainstream of approach to it?
I guess the pick-me thing is if you post something that...
It's the opposite of that.
Yeah,
I
if you
suppose.
post something
like,
controversial.
It's like women who like I like Andrew Tate.
Which it shouldn't be controversial,
Yeah.
but it is. Yeah.
I mean, calling someone a pick-me just kind of negates the idea of free thought, that people are allowed to think differently than their people that look like them.
Which reminds me of the discourse about the way Bianca Censori dresses.
That was a fantastic segue.
That is a whole other discourse about, you know, is Bianca choosing to dress this way, or is Kanye coercing her to dress this way? Recently, she was seen wearing what I thought was just a printed top that had tits on it, but in reality, it was just a see-through top.
And Psychopath Mary is like, we should show it. I'm like, no.
I thought it was fake. I thought we should show it because it was fake, but it wasn't.
It wouldn't matter if it was fake.
I don't know YouTube TOS anymore. If you could show Chrissy Teigen flashing her coochie yesterday, then
it's not Chrissy. It was Maren Morris. So
I always get them confused, but because they look alike. But I thought this was just a top, like, you know, those swimsuits that are printed like that. That's what I thought it was, but apparently it was just fishnet.
Yes.
And this says Bianca Censori flashes bare breasts in see-through netted top as Kanye's wife risks indecent exposure charge on her way to the tanning salon.
Somebody said this could end her up on a sex offender list.
Possibly. It says this look pushed boundaries and could potentially be considered indecent exposure under California law. But after I saw those videos from San Francisco Pride, they're not really enforcing those.
Yes.
California Penal Code Section 314 makes it should be 304, makes it a crime to intentionally expose genitals or the naked body in a public place or anywhere else where someone could be offended or annoyed. I am annoyed but not offended.
Yes.
But I think she's definitely the one behind all of these decisions.
The beauty of being a woman is that in 10 years she can say it wasn't her fault. She didn't drink enough water and Kanye made her do it.
She was not hydrated in her lane. She was in Kanye's lane.
I don't know how a dude's comfortable with his wife doing this.
And then she can say,
Kanye is comfortable with this?
How are you comfortable with this?
And then after this, she can forgive herself.
Well, it's ironic. People have pointed out that Kanye, you know, pitched a fit when Kim would wear revealing looks when he was married to Kim. But now that he's remarried, he seems to want to go the complete opposite direction with the way that Bianca dresses. And it's sort of like a showing, showing off thing, like a flexing thing.
I don't get it.
Is it a midlife crisis?
He's going through a midlife crisis.
Really?
He hasn't hydrated enough either.
He's not hydrated.
That would make sense.
He needs to drink more water and stay in his own lane.
See, that's the cure to a midlife crisis, is staying hydrated.
It's the, you know what it is? It's the bottle. It's got the thing where it's like, it shows how much water you have, and then it gives like little messages the farther down the bottle.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Like, have you ever seen the one
I'm reparenting myself?
where the lady fills it with vodka, or like fake fills it with vodka? And it's just like the farther down you go, it's like your bottle's cheering on your alcoholism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But usually, you know, the stereotype about a midlife crisis is buying a sports car. But if you're
You can already afford.
if you're a billionaire, I guess he's not a billionaire anymore. Pretty close. If you're a billionaire, what are you gonna do?
I think his biggest flex was like, you said that he sometimes flies commercial on a lark, as they say in the UK.
Yeah. Like he flew Spirit Airlines to meet with Trump at Mar-a-Lago because he just thought it was funny.
But he flew commercial to go to France. If I can afford to fly private, I'm not flying commercial overseas.
It's
doing
performance art for him.
Yeah.
And maybe the way that Bianca dresses is a form of performance art in their minds.
And again, that's probably true to them. And at least in her mind, there's logic there. And she can always go back on her word in 10 years and blame him.
Yeah, definitely. I'm waiting on that memoir.
All right. So you sent me this. Do you want to explain what this is? It just says POV Eminem's new album.
Well, it's a parody, so we can play it.
Okay, so we're not going to get copyrighted.
This is just Eminem trying to be cool and offensive.
So yesterday we got copyrighted for the that absolutely abhorrent national anthem they played at the Home Run Derby. I think it was actually more like YouTube just being mad that we made people watch it. Maybe like
really?
they were just like, I can't believe
they were trying to punish us.
Why would you put people through this?
Yeah.
All right, let's listen to this.
You can cancel me for that. I don't care. It's just my opinion. Go ahead and cancel me.
Oh, it's very quiet. So you guys are gonna have to turn your volume all the way up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better that way.
It's a no one said we was canceling you.
If you don't have a microphone, you shouldn't be playing the game in the first place. That's just my opinion. Go ahead and cancel me. I don't care.
Yo, Turtle, shut the up, bro.
It's just an opinion. You think I care if I get canceled over an opinion that simple? I don't.
Dude, we get it. Please, Turtle, shut the up. Jesus Christ.
Freaking ranting about something that someone's trying to cancel me for and it's stupid, like stupid opinion.
Bro,
No
no
one
one
said
has
they were
said
gonna
about
you.
it.
Jack Black is listening to that on repeat right now.
It's just
It's pretty accurate.
Eminem's new album in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Look,
there.
at a certain level of wealth, you're anti-fragile, and it's not that.
You can't be canceled if you're Eminem.
Yes.
Period.
Like if nothing would change if you never left your house again.
Yeah.
You can't be.
What was your take on Eminem's new songs? Did you see some of his lyrics?
Okay. I love Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Even though he's got some pretty interesting remarks when it comes to some other things that have nothing to do with music. Rap game, still solid. You know what I mean? Like he can still do it. But I'm listening to it, and the whole time I'm just like, oh, you're old.
Yeah.
You're just
Okay.
old, man.
So I re-listened to his like Benzino disses from probably 2 decades. It's probably 2 decades ago now, and he keeps calling him old, and that's the funny thing about it, right? Is like he's making fun of this dude for being old. I wonder if at the time he's like, what will I do when I'm eventually? You're young. You don't think about that. You don't think about. But where does somebody who is that wealthy, that successful go when you are known for what you're known for?
Did you listen to Kamikaze?
Yes.
Okay, so that one's like 6 years old now. I thought at the time it was like definitely he's older, but like it was still solid. I was like, okay, he's definitely going for it.
Even like on the song where he makes fun of Candace Owens, he makes a remark about being wealthy that seemed to be at least acknowledging that that's something that people mention about him that seems self-referential.
That he's out of touch.
That like I was like lean into that in a way, right? Like, but it's like I said, that's very, very hard to pull material from. When you're young and you're making music, the whole world is your oyster and you can pull from anything. But the second you reach a certain tax bracket, it's very, very hard for people to. It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't mean he's any less talented lyrically. He can still write. It's
Well, it just seemed like lazy writing.
his
Be like
persona.
Gen Z pronouns.
His
I'm gonna
persona,
get canceled.
His persona is attached to more than just what he says. It's attached to, he has kids now and he's got a family. He mentions his mom in Columbine in that song. Like, bro, didn't you make up with your mom like a decade ago? Didn't you buy her like a spaghetti restaurant or something?
Yeah.
And then
That was her dream.
And your daughter just got married. So what? Like, I just can't.
Yeah.
All right.
So there was this really sus clip.
This is your favorite Twitter account, isn't it? RFH.
Oh yeah, I follow her.
Yeah.
She's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But there was this really sus clip of what looked like an episode of Ren and Stimpy that got posted and got millions of views recently. Should we show it?
No, because it is a.
You can play it without sound, right?
No, I'm saying the video will be copyrighted. It will get caught. But do you want to explain to people what it was?
Well, I don't know the characters. Which one is which?
Ren is the little.
Ren is the
Stimpy's the red one.
Okay.
I don't know what
so,
Ren is. I can't. Dog maybe.
Yeah, basically they are showing an imitation of anal sex in this clip.
But it was from an adult cartoon from 2003.
Oh, this was the Adult Swim version.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say this is '90s children's television.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's
Never
not.
mind.
No, it's not.
So enough time has passed where people thought this was an actual episode of Ren and Stimpy that was made for children, and someone posted it with the caption, "This is what we used to watch as kids." And RFH responded, "Only PDF files would make a cartoon like this." And it turned out it was actually from Ren and Stimpy Adult Party cartoon.
Yeah, from 2003. I think it went 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Something like
But
that. Didn't
there
Cartoon
are-
Network just shut down?
Fully?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Holy crap, man.
People aren't talking about it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
That's the end of an era right
Yeah.
there. That's sad. Because I knew that they were cutting budgets because they belonged to Warner Brothers, but I didn't know they fully shut down.
Yep.
I know there were a lot of innuendos in kids' cartoons, though, even though this isn't itself an example of that.
Oh yeah.
Like even in SpongeBob and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, something that Dan Schneider got a lot of backlash for a couple months back, and there's a way that you can do it that's less creepy than the way Dan Schneider did it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, where's the threshold, right?
I know it was very weird because I watched all those things when I was growing up because I was, kid in the '90s and 2000s. I never really noticed some of it,
Yeah.
or I guess I did, but I never really put it together. The older I got, I watched the clips again, and I'm just like, how the hell did this get by anybody? That's amazing.
I guess it's just because like the parents weren't watching, so
My
they
mom
didn't
was
have
watching.
to.
I don't know. Maybe she wasn't watching that close. I don't know. I don't know.
It definitely went over my head too, but I guess that's the point of it. I think when it really gets dicey is if it's not supposed to go over the viewers' heads. It's supposed to be sexualizing the viewer.
So it was fake news that Cartoon Network was shutting down. So I thought Clownfish reported on this, but there was this picture. I remember seeing this one very recently, where it's like Cartoon Network studios after being shut down.
Oh no.
That looks like just an individual location then, I guess.
Have you seen the Nickelodeon studios now today?
Yeah.
Depressing.
Yeah.
Did they take the foot logo down?
They took everything down. Just looks like an old building.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
It's a fall from grace for kids' entertainment.
I mean, but Cartoon Network in general isn't the powerhouse that it used to be in the mid 2000s.
Because kids don't. The Saturday morning cartoons, it's not a thing. It hasn't been a thing for a long time.
Yeah. All right. What do we got next? We got is Pokimane next?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So recently there was an auction for playing video games with Pokimane, and a pathetic Pokimane simp bid $500,000 to play video games with her. And this is just the latest example of simps completely losing their minds. Like, this should be a diagnosed mental illness at this point. To bid $500,000 of your own money.
This was an auction.
To not
right?
only
Yeah.
not only just like play video games with Pokimane, but it's I was guessing you don't even get to meet her.
Yeah.
Is insane. Like, I just want to understand like how you get to that point in your life. Where you're
Bitcoin.
like, is that like below rock bottom?
How do you have $500,000 and you can't get attention from women?
That's what everyone was commenting, because we put out a short where I was talking about this today, and all of the comments were like, if you just have $500,000 laying around in your bank account, you can definitely afford to like take women out on dates, and that like, but it's crazy. They would rather spend their money on simping under the like delusion that eventually one of these women that they follow on Twitch or on OnlyFans or whatever will give them a shred of attention.
I wonder if part of it's like Bitcoin millionaires. If making your money digitally is very different from like starting a business and making your money in the real world, which might require you to have more interaction with actual humans. So that does that make sense? Like,
Kind of.
What?
Yeah, the human aspect's removed.
The
from
human
it.
aspect of actually, you know, like collecting wealth, making money, starting a business has to involve interacting with other humans, which would mean that you probably have more skills when it comes to actually talking to women.
Yeah, for them it's just digits on a screen.
Yeah.
This sells you enjoy a gaming session with Pokimane, one of the top streamers in the industry. Play your favorite games and share an unforgettable experience. I don't know if
I think she pushed back and kind of made fun of the idea of calling it an unforgettable experience.
Sounds like an escort ad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I could be wrong, but it doesn't say that you'll get to meet her. It might just be like a Zoom call or a Discord call.
Oh my God.
Or something like that. Like you would actually
On stream, yeah.
Now, some people were saying that this was trolling, that people were putting in fake bids to get attention on the auction.
Yeah.
Right.
And I looked at the updated page for the auction. I saw the bid is now at $30,000 from a guy named Isaac. So that in and of itself is still insane that you would spend tens of thousands, let alone hundreds of thousands of dollars on this.
Go buy a new car with that money and you'll get plenty of women.
It's not even... It doesn't even occur to them that they could speak to a woman in real life.
People are saying she's greedy. Technically, she's not getting this money. This is money for charity.
It's an auction for charity, so they're donating the money to people with immunodeficiency.
All right, I'm not like upset with her then, I guess.
But at the same time, people were commenting like, oh, this is fine because they're just donating to charity. No, if they wanted to donate to charity, they would just donate to charity.
Yeah.
They're doing it because they're simps. And really, this is about attacking the simps, not Pokimane. Because I don't even think you can blame her, right?
Yeah.
She's like in it for the good cause or whatever. Some people think she courts this attention on purpose, and I don't know enough about her to know if that's true.
Yeah.
There are definitely other Twitch streamers that do, like
So-
Amaranth, for instance.
Yeah, this is a chair that says C-Dog has like done this charity a lot of times.
Yeah.
At one point,
This is something he does.
A painting from YouTuber PewDiePie was an auctioned item one year, and a lot of money. Look, I have no problem with money going to charity, and I think raising money for charity is a good thing as long as you, if you're donating, do your research into the charity and actually know where that money is going. Most of the time, I don't think it's the greatest idea because most people don't actually look into the charities that they're donating to. But like you said, these people aren't doing it because they're good guys and, you know.
Because they're philanthropists.
Yes.
They're doing it because they're simps. We got a 20 from Alfred Larock. Mary, the simp story is a sign from God. He wants you to preach the gospel to the sad, lonely masses, and you'll make 10K a month and great seat in heaven. No. Still not going to be selling videos of myself reading the Bible in a sundress, as some people have recommended. That's not
People
going to
are
happen.
asking what charity. It's for the Immune Deficiency Foundation.
Yeah, whatever that means.
And 14K for the Make-A-Wish America.
Yeah, I just think that the simps need professional help. I rarely say that.
So how do you fix this problem? This is a very interesting discussion. Like I said, if money is basically just digits on a screen and it doesn't even seem real at this point for them, they're not thinking about the tangible ways in which they could use that money to improve themselves in the real world so that they could get real attention there. Right? How do you fix that problem? You have to get them off the computer and into the real world.
Because their money is just numbers on a screen, and the woman, Pokimane, is just pixels on a screen, and it's all just a simulation of what they really want, which would be to, you know, go on a real date with a woman and have a relationship.
I've been seeing so many like skits about my life as a working as a mod on Discord or working as a mod on Twitch, and that's like its own meta now of just the sad life of a Twitch moderator.
These people who their entire lives exist online. They don't have jobs. Their entire lives revolve around these women on Twitch.
I mean, maybe what it is she could start a service where she's just kind of ambivalent and rude to them in the real world, and it's actually doing them a service by breaking the spell.
Well, isn't that a type of escorting as well, where like you pay a woman to be mean to you?
Well, that's like what BDSM and.
Isn't there like a shaming fetish or something like that?
There's all sorts of stuff like that.
So, like,
I mean, I think they kind of get off on how humiliating and pathetic this is.
I'm not even saying pay them. I'm saying like she should just be mean for free as a public service to
No,
help.
it's gonna attract the wrong people.
To help break the spell.
There is no way to be a front-facing female on the internet without people like simping. That's just it's an occupational hazard at this point. I would know.
And it's not, look, in no way can you expect her to ask for this behavior to change. It's her revenue stream. It's how she makes her money. I don't begrudge her doing her job. I just think that they should maybe shoot for the stars of like a girlfriend in the real world, and maybe you'll land amongst.
It's like,
shoot for the moon.
I mean, in a way, I think it's kind of a cope for having lost interest in real intimacy and in the opposite sex, but not being ready to admit that to yourself. It's kind of a cope, honestly, that they're looking for the simulation of it. The reality is too intimidating to them.
Yeah, also, there's a fair point to be made that, like, interacting on the internet is a vastly different thing than interacting in the real world, and they just prefer interacting on the internet.
Like we talked about Amaranth's reality show, Pimp My Simp.
Oh my
right?
God.
Did you hear about this?
I forgot about that.
So she did this thing with her viewers where they would go on stream with her and try to convince her that they're incels. And whoever was the most pathetic, she promised to pimp my simp, and make them dateable. And that was the entire premise of the show.
Guys signed up.
And they volunteered themselves for public humiliation, probably just for the chance to talk to her, really. But theoretically, so that they wouldn't be incels anymore and she could help them.
Oh, wow.
It's basically Queer Eye,
That's
but
sad.
Yeah.
not.
Jeez.
It's just, it is sad, but also like my disgust response is stronger than my pity response for these people.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people would have that, but do you think that the average person who's not like terminally online understands that this type of stuff exists?
to an extent.
I think it always
yeah.
kind of did exist. There's
No, I
always
know,
been-
but I'm saying like to the extent in which it exists now.
It used to be
right?
just like, you would have like a poster in your room of like Pamela Anderson.
That's
You didn't-
not the same thing.
You didn't. Of course it's not
Yeah.
the same thing. Of course it's
This
not,
seems-
because now you can go into someone's chat and you can have this fake interaction with them and a parasocial relationship with them that was never possible before.
This seems more in line. You remember the Bjork stalker?
Yes.
This seems more in line with that.
Yes. Okay.
That was a creepy video.
Wouldn't you be worried that the people bidding in this auction are just completely out of their minds?
That too.
Insane?
Yeah.
I don't know. Even just from Pokimane's perspective, I would be creeped out.
Ricardo Lopez.
Yep.
We got a 20 from IC All. I don't have $500,000 laying around. All I got is $20. So here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's much appreciated anyway.
Yeah. On September 12th, 1996, Lopez mailed a letter bomb rigged with sulfuric acid to Bjork's residence in London. He recorded a final video diary explaining his motivations and ended it by filming his suicide.
Yep.
Yikes.
That's
I didn't know about that.
I watched the whole video series that he put out. Like, I'm fascinated by all this stuff, and it's very creepy. But I notice a lot of similarities between these people.
Yeah, and things like that have happened before. Like, as I'm compiling my list of OnlyFans horror stories, I
Yeah.
see that there was one who hid in this OnlyFans model's attic for days,
God, man.
watched her in her house, and took videos of her sleeping and all of this stuff. Like, it's not going to be every simp, but there's definitely a subset of them that are just absolutely bonkers,
Also-
insane, that you need to watch out for.
It's very different in this age because it was not as parasocial as it is now. The nature of internet communication and the nature of the way that celebrities like Amaranth or Pokimane become famous now, it's so much more personal than it was if you just liked Bjork's music,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Also, I wanted to mention another development in the Hawk-Tuah girl saga. She just slammed creepy fans who have been DMing her for feet pics.
And for jars of spit. I remember that
Ew.
too. Yep.
Yeah, she said, it's kind of creepy. Toes. They want pictures of my toes. I don't want to sell pictures.
I wonder if like there's an aspect of it, like seeing if somebody like saying, I'll pay you for like pics of your feet or pay you for like putting spit in a jar. It's just to see if they will debase themselves enough to do that.
Maybe.
The women, you mean?
No, to the guy, is it about seeing if the woman will debase herself enough to actually do it?
You know what?
Possibly.
Maybe.
But they're debasing themselves by asking.
But they're anonymous.
This
Like
is-
that,
Yeah.
she has all the fame and the recognition, so it's a one-way street in
guess.
that
But this is similar to like two guys daring each other to go do something really stupid and humiliating just to see if he's going to do it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah,
I've been there.
yeah, me too.
I feel bad for the Hawk-Tuah girl now because she's getting like exposed to the creepiest people.
No, she's I saw like her Instagram, she's like doing charity work and stuff like that.
Oh,
She was
wow.
like going to animal shelters and things.
I guess any moment of viral fame comes with the costs.
There's something
You know?
to be said. Like people are saying like why did this go viral and other ones didn't? Certainly that disgusting one that we watched.
Yeah.
Not even disgusting, just embarrassing. But
Both.
I think part of it is like it is that she is kind of generically wholesome otherwise. Other than the statement itself, she seems like a fairly wholesome person, and there's a bit of a dichotomy there. Like, so it's like even a wholesome person has a couple of drinks and can say something crazy once in a while, and that kind of speaks to a lot of the American experience, I'm sure, for a lot of people. So I think there's something irreverent there that's just hard to to duplicate.
Yeah.
So
I didn't understand the hate for her. It was just silly hate.
Crisis Party! I saw your tweet yesterday about dancing for money.
That's what we do. Because at first it was like, I didn't expect my job to entail picking money up off the floor every day. And if you told me that 5 years ago, I would be incredibly scared.
That was a funny one.
All right. Let's go to Cringe and Cute today. Damn. So apparently it was just the Burbank office of Cartoon Network that shut down. So between that and the Trump golf story, I have fake news twice in 2 days. That's pretty good.
Make it to 3.
We'll make it to 3
by the
guys.
end of the week.
All right. Cringe or Cute of the day. Also, guys, we're running out of Cute of the day, so please, I had to put X back on my phone until the end of the week, and then I'm re-deleting it off again. We've got a guest on Friday. I want to make sure that I get as much news as possible. It's crazy how much less you actually take in when you don't have it on your phone. So unfortunately, my job kind of requires it sometimes. But the thing is, like, even after putting it back on my phone, I don't check it nearly as much. So I've already gotten a bit out of the habit of using it. But you know what that is. Like, all it takes is like one Saturday and you're back in the habit.
Back in the doom scroll.
Yeah, so go ahead and submit your pets. Hashtag PCC Pets. Hashtag Cute of the Day. Tag me at Brett Dazovic, and the show is at popculture_show. That way I can include your pets in the show. I took a picture of Mocha looking so adorable the other day, except it'll never be on the show because just no.
Out of spite.
Out of pure spite. So, all right, let's go and we'll do Cringe first. Because after that whole thing with the national anthem, just no.
Is this a palate cleanser
Yes.
cringe?
All
It's
right.
not, but
It says, this was painful to oh man. It's got a preface already.
you're on a date with a weeb.
Konnichiwa, could you open the door for me? I used up a lot of my cork earlier. Wow, arigato, senpai.
Are you Japanese?
Maybe if I get isekai'd. So, do you watch anime?
Yeah, I do.
Hontoni? Like what?
I really like Naruto.
Kagebunshi no Jutsu. Do you watch any other animes?
Yeah, JJK.
Gojo can expand my domain anytime.
So, what do you like to watch?
Well, you've probably never heard of it, but it's called...
Damn, nothing good ever comes of after you've probably never heard of it. It's about to be the most pretentious thing you've ever heard in your entire life.
Boku no Hero Academia. Deku-kun's my favorite. He's so ikemen. Bakugo's also a close second. And maybe even Todoroki. I've got to get going. The new episode just dropped. Sayonara, senpai.
You know what I realized we need to start doing?
What?
So Tim loves anime, right? Tim likes
Does
anime.
he?
Tim likes anime. He's watching anime. Like maybe we could get him to do like a correspondence segment where he like reviews an anime for us on the channel.
I didn't know that he was like.
I mean, I think he likes it. Like he's like, we've watched anime around the cast. Like we need to see if we can get him to like do a special correspondence segment where he reviews animes for us.
Yeah, we'll look into that. Just hopefully not in that voice.
Yes.
We're not going to hear any of that.
That was. I didn't cringe. Maybe it's just after yesterday, it was so awful that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're desensitized at this point.
Yeah. Like that just felt like when we were talking about like eventually Gen Z has embraced that you will be the cringe eventually. You might as well just do it on your own terms. So it's fine. It's fine. All right, let's do one cute of the day because this is the last one I got here, ladies and gentlemen. So you're gonna have to submit them.
We're in a cute shortage.
We are in a cute shortage.
Recession.
The crazy faces of our dogs.
Love it.
Awesome. Those are very cute. That was from Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. And again, go ahead and submit them. Again, make sure to tag me in it because that's the easiest way for me to see it. If you're not tagging me in it, I'm not seeing it. I haven't been able to check the hashtag because I didn't have X on my phone. All right, let's go ahead and get started then now that we are 44 minutes into the show. We're making good time today. So, as you guys know, I have been raving about the upcoming movie Twisters, which we are going to see on Thursday, and that got even more intense when the director of the movie, his name is Lee Isaac Chung, came out and did an interview with The Hollywood Reporter where he says there will be absolutely no climate propaganda in the film. And I think the number one critique that all of us had when this film was announced, on top of the fact there is no Bill Paxton, that there's a lot of reasons to say like maybe you shouldn't be making like random sequels, prequels, and continuations of old franchises, that this is a movie that didn't need one, but also it's the year 2024 and there's no way they will not try to shoehorn some type of propaganda in the film. Well, this director says that is not what is happening.
Yeah, The Hollywood Reporter did an interview with the director where they made sure to mention the science. The Bulletin of American Meteorological Society projected a 6.6% nationwide increase in the frequency of supercell thunderstorms by the end of the century because of global warming. And suddenly your summer tornado popcorn movie has a bit of, but seriously though, this could really happen, semi-scientific heft.
This was their attempt at like fanficking this line into the movie.
Yes, but to hear director Lee Isaac Chung tell it, even such a throwaway reference would be like beating Red State moviegoers over the head with a DVD copy of An Inconvenient Truth.
Even acknowledging that there are Red State movie viewers is like a fantastic step forward.
Chung said, I just wanted to make sure that with the movie, we don't ever feel like it's putting forward any message. I just don't feel like films are meant to be message oriented. He said, I think that what we're doing is showing the reality of what's happening on the ground. We don't shy away from saying that things are changing. I wanted to make sure that we're never creating a feeling that we're preaching a message, because that's certainly not what I think cinema should be about. I think it should be a reflection of the world.
I think I was just transported to another dimension of awesomeness.
He specifically said that for you.
He did. Like literally, he was looking at a picture of me.
It was just for
when
you.
he said that
And
out loud.
I think they probably asked him about this because that PETA protester went to the Twisters premiere and harassed them about global warming. And Glenn Powell was just like side-eyeing
it was
that
because
shit.
there's a rodeo scene in the movie, and they had an actual bull.
Okay, so it wasn't about the climate. It was
No.
about mistreatment of
Yes,
the animals.
but they had their own like people on set to make sure the animals were treated well. I'm just glad they didn't do a
Intimacy
CGI bull.
coordinators for animals.
Look, here's the thing. In the year 2024, everyone is not everyone is so terminally online, but most people are aware of the way the media talks, the news talks. Buzzwords are clocked right away in a way that they weren't 20 years ago. Right? Language changes. I was watching an old episode of Castle where they're dealing with this bad guy who keeps calling his boss affirmative action. And it's just the dude's a piece of crap. So he keeps using this word nowadays. Like if you were to use that now, it would sound differently. Just like if you were to say DEI hire or something like that, right? Language has become so critical to how we communicate online that when it shows up in the real world, it just feels like somebody's reading off of a CNN headline or a Fox News headline or an MSNBC headline. And you're aware that these people are all kind of annoying, you know, elitists.
Do you think he expected backlash for this?
No. Oh, no, like you mean
That
what,
he
do you
was
mean, what
expecting
kind of,
to be asked
yes,
about
yes,
climate
absolutely.
change in
Yeah,
all of these interviews?
Just acknowledging that there's red states that go to movies means that they're actually paying attention to focus groups and not just thinking that all movies are about New York and California. What's funny is like, it's not just the buzzwords in this case. A lot of it is like show, don't tell. So I was thinking about it. Tornadoes are very, very tangible and real and can be seen. That's scary. The idea of seeing a tornado throw a cow around, throwing two cows around, is something you can visually show them and the audience can connect with. The idea of climate change is not something that you can show.
Sure.
It can be explained, but the only way you can explain it is with annoying jargon that's just going to make everyone think that they're being lectured by someone on a CNN panel.
Maybe they should make it so that Glenn Powell's character has it like explained to him and he's like, I don't care. I just think that tornadoes are cool.
Tornadoes are cool. Like it. They
So then
sting.
they could at least make mention of the climate change issue and then, you know, still allow you to sympathize with the character.
Again, and again, time of like the times we live in change it. Like Day After Tomorrow is like an amazingly awesome movie.
Yes.
It literally is about climate change. It was 2004. You can't make it today without it being annoying. You cannot.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny. He's like, he gets out of a climate change panel and climate change just suddenly makes summer winter.
Oh wait, you mean a day after? I thought you said 2012.
No, the Day After Tomorrow.
Okay, I actually didn't care for it because of the climate change. It was just like, God, man, I just want to see it.
2004 was a different time than now, meaning that people today would be more sensitive to that than they were in.
I mean, if even Aquaman 2 can shoehorn in the climate change issue, not even just as a throwaway line, but as a key point in the plot, then obviously Twisters could have done the same thing. But
choosing not to shows
it's-
unbelievable
yes.
restraint. This movie was written, the screenplay was done by Joseph.
I'm hearing Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson
somewhere. Hello?
Sorry.
Tucker, are you there?
Okay, so it shows unbelievable restraint. And the thing is, the screenplay was written by Joseph Kosinski, who is the director of Top Gun Maverick. Glenn Powell was in Top Gun Maverick. Tom Cruise was at the premiere for this film, helping Glenn Powell hold up his popcorn bucket just right so people could see the label for it. Tom Cruise, you can criticize his Scientology all you want. You can say whatever you want about him. He seems to be focused on the idea of making summer blockbusters that are accessible to everyone, that don't preach a particular message. I guess you could say the AI bad and the last in Dead Reckoning was there, but even that was couched in a bunch of action scenes and it was a lot of fun. He understands the point of a summer blockbuster. You don't spend hundreds of millions of dollars to shoehorn in anything that can limit the box office return on something like this. So maybe what it is they've realized, or at least some people in this industry have realized, that you can, look, they make like 10 gazillion things a year. There's 9,000 streaming services. Each one of those 9,000 streaming services makes 9,000 shows that nobody watches. You can shoehorn your garbage message into a lot of different things. Maybe don't do it on the stuff that costs hundreds upon hundreds of millions of dollars.
Is that the case for Twisters? Is a super
I don't know what
high budget?
It's probably at least $100 million.
Yeah, it's up there. But
I can find out.
It's funny you mentioned Tom Cruise because people are talking about Glenn Powell's career trajectory
200
right
million.
now. People believe that Glenn Powell is on the path to becoming the next generation's Tom Cruise.
I'm there.
And he seems to have a similar grasp on reaching for mass appeal.
He moved back to Texas. He got out of California as soon as he could. He moved back to Texas. He has a great everyman quality about him in the same way that Tom Cruise kind of did, right?
Yeah.
Like, what is the thing that Tom Cruise would get dunked on for a lot? He's short. That somehow makes him a little bit more relatable because he's a movie star, but there's something that you can kind of give him crap for in a good-natured way.
Yeah,
right?
and also they mentioned that the director himself is from Arkansas on the border of Oklahoma, so he definitely understands
I'm loving this more.
the people who are in this movie. And Glenn Powell recently said that Hollywood has underserved large parts of America. You sort of have New York and Los Angeles making the decisions about what gets made, but there's a whole lot more audience out there that you need to think about.
Yeah, like I was thinking about it is like he says like they make movies for New York and California. Look, I can understand why on its face, like New York and California are huge places that have large diverse populations, not diverse just in the physical sense, but a lot of different stories can be told there. But there's a lot of those stories elsewhere too. It just takes better, more creative writers. I was like, they need like an electoral college in Hollywood to start giving those middle America states more of a vote.
And they didn't just think about geographical diversity here. They also thought about going for mass appeal in terms of getting women to
There's a
watch
love story,
this movie.
just like in the original.
There's a love story, just like the original. And I actually saw a woman commenting about Glenn Powell in Twisters. She thought, she said, I'm married with kids and I love my husband, but if somehow I had Glenn Powell looking at me like that, I'd either be sucked up by a tornado or divorced, just saying.
So, like right here, this is something you don't get to see a lot of these days.
Yeah.
This type of...
Or the pictures that came out from Glenn Powell's movie with Sydney Sweeney as well.
Yes. Yep.
Which I didn't end up watching, but clearly it's appealing to women in some sense.
And I do in a way, like, so I saw Christian Toto, he had a tweet that said like, I'm worried that Glenn Powell's gonna have like an Alan Ritchson style turn where he goes on some weird anti-Trump.
He's definitely more famous than Alan Ritchson at this point, but I would hate to see him go down that road.
It's really, really funny. Like, I've been kind of waiting, like, who is going to be that next actor? Like, you've still got your Jake Gyllenhaals and you've got your Ryan Goslings, but there has to be somebody younger. I think, are they in their 40s now? They have to be in their 40s now, right?
Yeah.
Glenn Powell is, I think he's in his early 30s.
It's late 30s, but
his mid 30s. He was in The Dark Knight Rises, which came out in 2012. So
he's been working a long time.
Yeah.
And he
So-
just waited until he got to that critical point in his success where he could get out of Hollywood, because he said It's like the Matrix, and he doesn't want to be there. He
he
was only
loves
there
Andrew
because
Tate.
he had to be.
So the thing is, like, him and Sydney Sweeney represent this good shift that could be coming in Hollywood, which is that they're focused on making money for their movies. They want their films to do well. How do you make a film do well? You present it with mass appeal. You don't bog it down in some type of unique, very, very niche message that only speaks to a small sector of the audience, which most of Hollywood is so hell-bent on doing. I always say all the time, I don't need actors to pretend to love superhero characters. I need them to do a good job playing superhero characters and not pretend to be something they aren't. Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney aren't pretending to be activists. They're not pretending to even be anything other than people that want to make movies that speak to a large sector of the audience. If it's purely for financial reasons, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and they both are focused on making money, but they also seem to both actually enjoy the craft of what they do, which sounds pretentious, but it's important because they're not just using acting as their way to get a platform to scream at people.
Well, even she said that she was talking with the marketing teams at Sony. That means she cares about who it's marketed to.
She was like, basically came right out and said she did Madam Web to meet people at Sony so that she could make deals with them.
And look, we're not in California. We're not in New York. You need to make movies about other places. And
without, by the way, you make movies that focus on people in the South or people in Middle America without demonizing them, which they seem like utterly incapable of doing.
One of the I request everyone go back and rewatch the show Justified, which does a fantastic job of even showing criminals in a light that doesn't seem to speak down on,
you have to humanize them.
on Harlan in the same way that it would be done today, right? Like, for as bad as some of the people are in that show, they don't treat the good guys. Raylan Givens isn't treated like a country bumpkin. Neither are any of the people that work at the office that, at the marshal's office that he works in. There is the ability to do this. It can be done. You just need to stop hiring people that go to Ivy League universities and tell them to write someplace that they don't even care to go and do research on to find out. I'm not saying they have to be from there. The director and the writer don't have to be from Arkansas to write about Arkansas. They have to be willing, in good faith, to look at these places and understand that they are not a caricature. And that takes a lot of humility that most of Hollywood isn't willing to do.
I think it's because people in Hollywood haven't forgiven their parents yet.
No, that's a huge. How common
projecting it?
How common is the story of like the person who did grow up in a place like that, and then they moved to California and they harbor a lot of resentment for those places. There's a lot of people that you're from California, right? So,
I am from California.
So probably a lot of people there who are who don't like where they're from.
No, they don't. And kind of like you said, there's a lot of parental resentment.
They didn't drink enough water that day.
They didn't drink enough water.
Yeah. They're projecting it into their work.
Even if, look, I'm going to cope so hard if this movie's bad. I'm just going to tell you guys it's good anyway. So, like.
You said, like, Glenn Powell's character could be trans for all I care, and I'm still going to
my joke.
movie.
No, my joke was like, I was like, so they're like, oh, there's no message in the movie. And then all of a sudden it's just the rest of it. It's all just the whole movie. Everyone's gay.
Yeah.
And like, that'd be, at this point, it's hilarious. They did like the bait
The
and
ultimate
switch.
hoodwink.
Yeah, it's like the Uno reverse card. They got me. So we are going to see this movie on Thursday,
tomorrow,
and we are very excited. So, all right, let's go to Super Chats.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Wednesday, Brett and Mary. I see you have Bertman on. That's so nice that you guys are reaching out to the mentally challenged. We're philanthropists here.
Much like Pokimane.
PCC is basically the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
We like to give back.
Yes.
I appreciate it, guys.
Pat the plumber said, shh, Bertman, you'll wake up the kids." I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
Let's do two more.
Shane H. Wilder said, Dane left for milk and cigarettes again. Well, hopefully he'll be back sooner.
We hope.
Than last time. Drewish AF said, French women protest naked so men pay attention.
Yep, they do.
Yeah.
All right, let's hold off on the rest. Time to talk about what's going on with the absolute wokest Amazon show ever. And again, I don't like that word, so if we're using it, it means something.
Yes, there is plenty of debate about the term woke on this show and what qualifies as woke. But you know it when you see it. And recently, Amazon put out a show that might be their wokest ever. Like, more woke than Rings of Power.
I'm going to show this picture. That people have to see this picture.
You need to see the picture. The picture that speaks 1,000 woke words. That's it. In this new show, the King
That
of England
wheelchair goes hard.
Yeah. The King of England is black, gay, and disabled.
It
The
looks
woke trifecta is what they're calling it.
It looks like they hollowed out a barrel of whiskey to make it.
It looks way too polished, doesn't it?
What was it I said yesterday? It looks like a hipster, a disabled hipster
in Bushwick would be using this.
Yeah.
We have a $25 super chat from Mr. Wombat. He said, if someone dropped $30K for a gaming session with you two, what game are you playing? It doesn't have to be a video game. What would we play? Neither of us are like gamers.
Oh, we would play 2-player GoldenEye on N64.
You said any. It doesn't have to be a video game. Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
2-player GoldenEye, but I get to, nobody gets to play as, who's the short one in that? Was it Blofeld? I don't remember.
You know what? I think we should play Assassin's Creed Shadows for $30K. That would be the right price tag. But yeah, this new Amazon show is called My Lady Jane. And it's based on a young adult fiction series, which should tell you all that you need to know with the way young adult fiction is written for adult women these days. But essentially, it's a fantasy story based on Lady Jane Grey, who was in the English throne for 9 days before she was executed for treason.
It's the patriarchy.
But it's an alternate history story where Jane Grey actually lives longer than that. And in the show, King Edward is black, gay, and disabled, none of which are historically accurate, but it doesn't matter because it's fantasy. Yes. That's the cop-out that they get every time that they make something in the fantasy genre, is that they can kind of just make up whatever they want. Even if it's based on a historical story, it doesn't matter. They can do whatever they want. So Digital Spy put out an interview with Jordan Peters, who plays King Edward in the show. And you know, I would feel bad for this guy because he's been put in the position to defend this stupidity.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's leaning into it. So it seems like he agrees with their decision to do this in the show.
Oh, he would have had to be, right? Like, there's no way he didn't beforehand.
Yeah, he spoke about his audition. He said, when I auditioned for the role, I sat down with Jamie Babbitt, the director, and she was telling me about the character and how they wanted him to be gay. So that was the very first thing that
that's
they
the point here. It's the pace in which they get to this information. They don't talk about the deeper story. They don't talk about the relationships with other characters. They don't talk about maybe how they imagine the show concluding. All they want to talk about is the race, the gender, and the sexual orientation of the character. Now, you could make the argument that given that it's YA material, and it's fiction, like that's
comes
a big,
with the territory.
It comes with the territory, but still, the problem is that when stuff like this gets produced, it's produced because of that.
Yeah, and later in the same interview, Jordan Peters admits that they weren't finished with the script writing by the time that he was cast as the king. So basically, you know that their first priority was making sure that this character fit all of these checked boxes. But before we get further into it, we should watch the trailer because it's really cringy.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to cut this out of the segmented version of this, guys, but let's go ahead and check this out. All right.
Yeah, you got it right.
I didn't see that one coming, guys. Holy shit.
Every woke box.
Oddly enough, the race swap doesn't even bother me in this context because it's not like they're drawing attention to it. It's
not even the worst part of it, really, not even by far, because Jane Grey is a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
Correct.
She wins all of the fights with men. She doesn't want to get married. She wants to be independent and run her own shit.
I am look, I can't pretend to be some type of authority on these types of shows and movies. I love the show Merlin, which is an absolute affront to
to historical
accuracy. That never bothered me. Look, that had race swapped Guinevere. Loved every second of it. Didn't bother me. Yeah.
This looked like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter for women.
It's just, you can only subvert my expectations so many times.
Like, the whole point should have been, like, there's got to be, like, one thing you leave alone. Maybe the guys win the fights. Maybe. Just maybe.
No, that would piss everyone off.
It's crazy.
And,
like, maybe he pulls out the bigger knife for once.
This is weird because not only is King Edward just gay, they also included an allegory for gay people in the show. basically they're called Ethians, and they're humanoid animals.
So there's going to be bestiality?
Basically, yes, there is gay bestiality in the show. So it's just randomly some people are turning into horses and other animals in society, and they get marginalized and oppressed in the show. And then the Ethians create their own like gay bars so that they have safe spaces from the rest of society. And then King Edward falls in love with one of the Ethians. So they have like a gay interspecies romance in the show.
Maybe if you did just that one and the rest of the show was normal, that would actually be kind of funny.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
absurd.
but they couldn't help themselves from.
It's like they don't have a script editor to help tone it back to find some semblance. I guess the point is it's supposed to be kamikaze. Everything's supposed to be crazy. Maybe it works for them. Like the thing about the fighting was really funny is like I was thinking about it. There's like 20 to 30 years of television. Watch any network television show where like men and women do things that they like they go bowling or they play cards. The expectations are always subverted. The woman always wins the card game. Yeah. She always wins the bowling match. Oh, they go play darts. She beats him in darts. Like when was the last time you actually saw like a dude win in a situation like that? I'm fine with that. Just let the dude win the physical altercation when the dude who's 1.5 feet taller than the woman and 100 pounds heavier, maybe then you can strain credibility.
No, because you should be, as a white straight male watching this show, you should be having your expectations subverted because
that would be how you subvert it.
It's going to show you how strong and independent she is.
Yeah.
To show her win the fight.
I love it. It's so
you get
great.
my logic here. See, so thank you, Jeff Bezos, for this show that we really needed in our culture today. It's something I've never seen before.
Look,
it's totally original.
He also made he also is responsible for the Terminalist and Reacher, which are good and
Fallout
and well, yeah, and a lot of I mean, like I said, there's like
Fallout did the same shit. Yeah. Fallout had that non-binary character that they inserted in there.
But I was like running out of things to complain about where I'm like, you know what? The whole thing was honestly pretty good.
It's a war of attrition.
I also really liked...
It's like, okay, fine, there's one non-binary character. And I'm like, no, like if you're trying to like treat me like I'm an idiot, I'm just not gonna watch.
I also liked the first season of Jack Ryan. Like they do well with certain stuff.
I guess they're trying to make something to appeal to everyone, including the woke people.
Guess we can't win because they did Rings of Power, and that kind of just...
The woke people never show out for these shows. They never actually bump the numbers.
So no,
they just praise it on Twitter.
They're more likely to show up for the My Lady Jane than the Rings of Power. They're more likely to show up for that or Warrior Nun than they are
than like the Acolyte. For instance.
Acolyte, yeah. Like they will fall into those types of shows because it's unique and it speaks to their sensibilities. They show up for shows like the Acolyte or Rings of Power because there's a form of cultural conquering that comes from that.
There was also an allegory for conversion therapy in the show as well, because the Ethians are seen as having an affliction that they need to be cured of. The interviewer said, the Ethian concept can be used to represent so many different marginalized experiences, but watching it and thinking of Edward, we did think a lot about this being a queer metaphor in particular. For example, when we hear about the cook's son being sent away to try to cure him of his Ethian affliction, what do you think of the way this show approaches those kinds of metaphors?
You know what we should do? We should put a ban on allegory for like 10 years.
Yeah.
We got a 20 from Francisco Sanchez Jr. The average weight of an American woman is 170 pounds, 19 pounds less than the American man. Give it 20 or so years and women will be able to beat down men. Well, the weight is mostly fat, not muscle mass. Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon.
Yeah.
But then he replied, the director was really keen on showing that otherness through the Ethian lens and how it relates to what's happening now and in the past as well. To include that and represent it in terms of the LGBTQ+ community with racism, disabilities, to show that otherness. I feel like they did a great job of showing that to include all the people who experience that. They want to be who they are and they want to show it to the world, but because of this society in this world, they're not allowed to do that. And if they do, they get punished for it.
We live in a society.
Do gay people still think they live in a society that operates like this?
Yes.
That
At least the ones
Normal gay people?
At least the ones who are writing stuff in Hollywood, yes.
Yeah.
These people are just off their rocker.
They do not speak to the experience of the everyday gay person who is just trying to live their life.
Also, isn't it kind of insulting if you're making the allegory about like gay people being less than human?
Soft bigotry of low expectations.
I don't know. Whatever.
The one thing Bush did right.
I guess this show is just trying to normalize gay bestiality.
So, yeah.
This is breaking glass ceilings for gay bestiality relationships.
Look, shows like this. What was the other one? Interview with the Vampire. The show is actually on like its 3rd season now.
Wow.
They have cult followings.
Yes, these shows do fine. Like, I actually imagine a show like this, the budget will be, actually no, because it's an Amazon show, the budget might bloat, but like an AMC show, the budget will be modest. It'll make it a couple of seasons. It'll do fine. We don't actually usually talk about a lot of shows like this because look, they operate in their own sphere. They speak to an audience. The audience shows up for it. I have a lot more respect for an audience actually showing up, watching, and producing numbers that give the studios a reason to keep making it than just talking about it online and then having none of the data back up all of the hype that seems to go around on Twitter.
Isn't Bridgerton kind of in line with one of these shows?
Yes.
Basically,
yeah.
yeah.
Alt history.
They actually changed the original story of Bridgerton, the novel series that it's based on, because one of the characters had a heterosexual love interest that they changed to be gay in the show. So there was a recent discourse about all of that happening. So the YA series just wasn't woke enough.
The chat has fact checked me. It was Bush.
Oh, wow.
And somebody says, to be fair, it was probably a speechwriter who said the soft bigotry of low expectations.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we just do an update and see what the numbers are on this show. See what it does.
I can't get over this wheelchair.
The wheelchair is like, look, this thing is dope. I would take one here.
Yeah.
Look at that thing.
It's very well produced.
It literally looks like somebody took a barrel of mead and emptied a barrel of mead and then put wheels on it.
Amazing.
All right, let's go to Super Chats.
Okay. Drewish AF said John Wilkes Booth forgave himself. How brave.
Well, he probably drank some water afterwards.
Corey Anderson said California can't press charges against Bianca if they aren't going to press charges against the Pride freaks doing way worse during their parades.
No way. I was told in the song Trump, Trump, Baby that it's a 2-tier justice system, so they can prosecute whoever they want.
Trump, baby.
Look, going back to that discussion the other day, I was thinking about it. What it does, what Amber Rose being at the RNC does, or what Woe Vicky does by making these videos, is it's now shifted the Overton window to where now it's all right to openly proclaim your support for Trump, whereas it was vastly different several years ago. So there is a purpose to all of this. I don't know if Woe Vicky is who I would,
I don't think Woe Vicky is getting paid for what she's doing.
No, I'm saying, but your societal heroes come in the strangest of places, and if it's Woe Vicky that has to open up the eyes to the huddled masses too scared to speak out, then I guess she has completed her hero arc.
She's subverting our expectations.
She is.
Yeah. Tacti Platy said Chris has better hair than Dane. Oonga boonga.
Ooh, thank you.
You do have
I grew it myself.
And Dane gets a lot of hair compliments. Pat the Plumber said, can you use this $1 to buy a 3rd chair mic? We have a mic right there. You can see it, right? Is it not working? I mean, maybe
that would be hilarious if the mic was off.
Maybe Bertman is just soft-spoken.
No,
but
maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, you know what?
You've been needing a new mic, though.
You know what happens is sometimes when I ask people when I do mic check, they over enunciate sometimes and they speak too, because they put more into it, then they go back to their regular speaking voice once they start.
Or the slow lean.
Yes.
Away from
so some people is like
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
It's like
happens to the best of us.
People will always mention me or even Tim pull the mic with us. I'm like, yeah, well, it's better than me So
You have the mic in a death grip. And what I do instead is I just don't move.
Mary just boxes
just a
herself in
statue.
and doesn't move the whole show. But it's better that than me being like, so anyways, guys, this is what happened today.
Shane H. Wilder said John Krifalski. Crifalusi. I hope I said that right. Creator of Ren and Stimpy also apologized for SA and grooming teens because of, quote, low impulse control. He was always a sicko.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yikes! I did not know that.
See, guys, don't go back and watch that. Go back and watch Angels in the Outfield, which I rewatched yesterday. Guys, literally, so we put out an Acolyte review today for the final episode, and I hated it so much last night that I went and watched Angels in the Outfield as a palate cleanser. Listen to these names that were in this movie. Okay, this movie came out in 1994.
Right.
Not just Danny Glover, not just Tony Danza. Dermot Mulroney was in it for like 8 seconds as Joseph Gordon-Levitt's dad. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is 12 in this movie. Adrian Brody,
Wow.
Matthew McConaughey, Neil McDonough, all of which had like barely any screen time because they were just random players. Okay, that's quite a list of actors for like a 1994 baseball movie.
It was a who's who.
Or who's gonna be.
Or who's gonna be.
Yeah. Let's hold off on the rest. Let's come back
All
after
right.
the fact. All right. I think I want to make this picture from that Amazon shows my background with the
Yeah.
wheelchair.
Yeah, you should do that.
All right. Let's move on.
Guys, there was a new TikTok trend that was all over my timeline for about a week. Basically, it was started by women in the workplace, and they do this little dance with each other. And you might recognize the phrase, itty bitty titties in a bob. That was one of the phrases in this original video. We used it as our cringe of the day the other week because we didn't think it was going to go any further than that. But it turned out it went so viral that the women in this workplace had to double down and capitalize on the opportunity as a marketing ploy.
I can respect that.
Yeah, I can respect that. Like, make the most of your 5 seconds of fame or whatever. It was actually simultaneous with the assassination attempt, so
Yes.
maybe that like
Bad timing.
converged.
Killed their-
bad timing.
Yeah.
Bad timing. But let's show the original video just to
So you guys can
remind everyone, or if you haven't seen it yet, give you the concept for this trend.
Gen Z boss and a mini. Gen Z boss and a mini. Itty bitty titties and a bob. Itty bitty titties and a bob. 5'3" and an attitude. 5'3" and an attitude. Secret product in the trench. Secret product in the trench. New friend green and a sneaky link. New friend green and a sneaky link. Fake 10 hands in a hoop. Fake 10 hands in a hoop. Gen Z.
I want to, before we start the dunking, fantastic camera work. The push-ins are right on, okay? So they clearly have somebody there with some type of media training. Look at that.
Gen Z boss and a
That one's a little weak.
Itty bitty titties and a ball.
That one's okay.
Itty bitty titties and a ball. 5'3" and an attitude.
That one's good. She's at the head lean in.
Secret product in the trench.
Yeah.
Secret product in the trench.
They
I
know
see
what
where
they're
they were
doing.
going with this. So it's in the conversation for most hated video of 2024. There's still a lot of time left, but it's going to be in the top 10.
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Tell us why you don't like it.
Everything about it's just annoying, and it's just annoying. Everything about it, yeah.
Well, a lot of people were saying that this was
Just
proof that women don't belong in the workplace and that this was their proof for why the 19th Amendment should be repealed.
Oh, I also want to point out that this was another example of why, like, so I am two for two on fake news stories this week, right? So one of the stories that was going, I had two. I had what was it? I had the Trump at the golf course, and that Cartoon Network got shut down. But what people were saying is that these were the writers from the Acolyte, and there were people running with that.
I can't believe that people would just buy that automatically. But no, they are women who work at this trendy skincare brand in Australia. And no doubt they used this moment to market their products.
You know what this does, Mary?
Basically, people were saying these are the women at the office who aren't contributing to any of the value. They are not working as much as the men in the office who have been there for decades longer than them.
But that's not the case with this
And
company,
this is-
because this is...
It's not the case with this specific company, but I'm sure that's the case at a lot of companies.
You know what this is done? This should be used as? This is your test of just let people have fun. It's not hurting you.
It's
right?
a little bit.
Why do you care so much?
Mary will give me crap because look, I don't say that phrase exactly, but I am a watch it, what do I care, and move on with my life type of person. This video is a fantastic litmus test, especially if you're terminally online, for just how little do you care.
Yeah.
How much can you look? Because what I said when I saw this in the second one is I said, look, cringe comes for us all. It knows no age. It doesn't know race.
Cringe
it doesn't
Reaper
know,
comes
it doesn't
for us
know
all.
gender. Everyone can be cringe. You will be cringe in your lifetime. It's one of the reasons Gen Z has turned to just embracing the cringe, because you can't
kill the part of you that cringes.
Yes,
what
you
they say.
can't escape it, right? So maybe what it is these women, though they look like millennials, speak to the notion of just embrace the cringe.
Yeah, they did find out that the Gen Z boss in a mini is actually not Gen Z, but that's besides the point. These women were definitely taken by surprise that they went as viral as they did, and they posted this on their Instagram in the trenches of Twitter today. Can we play that?
Yep.
They were having a board meeting about it.
That's the Instagram one, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go, guys. It's gonna...
To viral before.
Sorry.
So
how many views?
This is 100 million plus impressions, so I think across all accounts.
Twitter's unhinged. This might be the most viral we've ever gone.
Yeah. Can we still respond?
Yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. You know what, this would be a great time to create a TBH Skincare Twitter page. What?
There's a comment.
God. People have no boundaries. We should create a Twitter page. Why not? If we're getting the eyeballs, we may as well monetize.
Putting makeup on while recording a video should be banned.
It.
Well, she's advertising their products.
Boston Mini is locked in. We should name bundles Gen Z Boston Mini.
A hoop. Fake Dan hands and a hoop.
It's full on trending.
I put 3 in an attitude.
3 in an attitude gets pushed around by these other girls. I can tell they don't treat her right.
Oh, Grace, is it true? At this point in time, we have
12 followers.
We had 3 followers on Twitter about 5 minutes ago. We now have 12.
Send us some goodies. We've been summoned to the kitchen. Maybe like
Twitter is wild.
At least they have a sense of humor about
I like
it.
that Elon Musk just can't get X to stick. Everyone still calls it Twitter.
Wide open and all the demons are here. We say like didn't know demons had such good like fashion sense. You asked Satan to drop the outfit.
Does Satan have an LPK?
This is them workshopping their clapbacks together.
Yes.
I'm surprised they posted it. But yeah, they made a part 2 with all of the negative responses to their TikTok. So
That's the worst of the trends, is like responding with to negative things that are said about you. Like, I love the videos like where it's like, somebody said I couldn't do this, so I did it.
So we did a thing.
Yes.
What's
Here,
that?
let's watch this one.
gender pay gap, bring it back. Gender pay gap, bring it back. It's giving millennial core. It's giving millennial core. Women should go back to the kitchen. Women should go back to the kitchen. Try not to cringe impossible. Try not to cringe impossible. Make it stop, hate this. Make it stop, hate this. Buy them on a hoop. Buy them on a hoop.
I'm of two minds. On one hand, I hate the clapback at all. On the second hand, at least they have a bit of a sense of humor.
See,
about
because
it.
they could have made a response that was very like somber, and they were like, we're very disturbed by all of the misogynist comments that we're receiving, and you should respect us because we're women in business and we're very serious girl bosses. But they had a sense of humor about it, so I can respect that.
It'd be like, if they do have a male employee, they should do a video where they just have him doing all the work and they're like film it like it's of him
That would be
typing,
funny.
and then they're in the background. You can only
Well.
just kind of see them filming a video.
Unfortunately, since you mentioned that, they did a third video.
Is this the same company?
The same company.
Okay.
And they included one of their male coworkers in the video, which he should not have done. He should not have done this.
This is the one that I was talking about when I said cringe doesn't know gender.
Yeah.
Anyone can be cringe.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Breaking the sheets in the calculator. Breaking the sheets in the calculator. Round green strap and a leg. Round green strap and a leg. Cinched in waist and a blowy. Cinched in waist and a blowy. Scrunch on the wrist and a cutty. Scrunch on the wrist and a cutty. TBH match and a jab. TBH match and a jab. Breaking the sheets.
So they're going to be milking this for a while.
My brother, you
sure.
don't have to be there.
Be like, I'm camera shy.
Yeah.
They had to tell him what TikTok was that day.
Yeah.
They had to teach him,
I think my ears
show him
are
the
bleeding.
ropes.
Yeah.
Like, I hate it, I do, but they seem like fun girls who are just like having fun in the office. And if they want to have jobs just to, you know,
Well, if it's their company, they're not operating off the backs of like people. You know,
well, it's not like if, you know, all of these hires that meet quotas at Microsoft or IBM or one of these mega corporations. It's not the same thing.
Videos of female middle management people getting their lunch at Microsoft are infinitely worse, actually.
Clearly, women just want to be silly together.
Yes.
You know, and I think that they're not, you know, suited best to having serious corporate jobs where they need to project a very serious buttoned up image.
If these were women working at like a larger company, I would be more, it would be more cringy to me. But if they're succeeding on their own, who am I to tell them what to do in their
videos of this kind of stuff where like there's just a bunch of chicks being super bubbly and playful like that. I don't know what it is. Maybe I have issues. Yeah. I get physically angry.
It was the one.
Maybe you have issues.
No,
I do. I really think I do.
You know what it was? It was the one of the women at the gas station that pissed everyone off. It was the women dancing at the gas station.
Didn't get that either.
It was a bunch of college girls dancing outside a gas station, and everyone was really mad about it.
I think it was because they were dancing to rap music specifically that pissed people off, because it was like,
there's a 20 there.
Okay, Zach said, do you guys get a cut of the super chats? I sure hope so. You guys deserve it. I love the show and listen daily after Tim in the morning. Brett, you rock for loving house, and Mary, you're beautiful and based. Bert.
You're 3 Berts.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, we don't. Full disclosure, we don't get a cut of the super chats.
We get a pay. We make a living wage. That's what it is.
We are salaried employees
we
of the company. However, it obviously still helps for you guys to super chat the show.
The point is that you guys help move this show towards profitability, which is the most important part for us. So the super chats are the biggest part of that. I was actually, full disclosure again, like looking into it in the last couple of months, like the revenue that comes from like watch page ads and ad revenue they're starting to equal out, and we are getting the show is doing better every day. So we thank you guys for that.
You know what?
Made possible by all of you.
What would help the channel is if we did one of these TikToks. And what would we say for you?
I wouldn't. I would jump out the window before that would happen. I would never do that.
Long black shirt.
I'm proud of you.
Long black shirt and a hat. Long black shirt and a hat.
No. Just no. I would never, ever, 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 ever in a million years do that. I would never, ever, 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 ever in a million years do that.
Yeah, I would say.
Did you remember? They'd be like, "Hey, Brett, want to be in this thing for Cass Castle?" I'm like, no.
No is a complete sentence.
No. Period.
That guy in the TikTok, he should have learned that a long time ago.
Itty bitty Timmy in a beanie. Itty bitty Timmy in a beanie.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, we also should have done the Timcast guys. What do you got?
Oh no!
I don't know this.
We're just showing how chronically online we are right now. Thank you. See, this is how you market these days. This is what you do.
Can't.
My conclusion on this is let the women be silly. Men should not be involved.
No is a complete sentence.
Again, my point is that this was not women who are middle management for a larger corporation. It's women who run their own company. So they're allowed to do whatever the hell they want if they're successful. Now, that doesn't mean I won't laugh if they go out of business next year. And then I'm like, should have been working, ladies. It was like
technically for them, if they're marketing the brand by posting TikToks, that's work. They're working, technically.
Yes. Yeah.
So I guess I can't blame them.
And again, there's a gender divide here. Men will never understand this.
And a lot of these tech companies, the reason why they're filling quotas for hiring women and minorities is they're using it to project a certain image.
Yes.
And if they decide that holds value, I don't think it does. If they decide that, then how could I blame someone for taking the job? How could I blame someone for capitalizing on the opportunity?
Here's a perfect comparison. So there was a clip that was resurfaced today of Jack Black singing Baby One More Time. Like, it's like a phone clip.
Yeah.
He's just singing. He's very animated. They're like, Jack Black is being accused of man-child behavior. I'm like, no, this was a viral clip of him performing a song that was used on the soundtrack of a multi-million-dollar Hollywood movie. Advertising doesn't look the same now as it did 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
a lot of money goes into
Jack Black's entire brand is basically being a man-child.
A lot of money goes into making stuff look low effort now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going viral doesn't need high production value and benefiting the company. Look, they came out of this with, I wonder how many Twitter followers they're at now. What's the account?
Look.
Yeah, let's see what the Twitter account is like.
It's TBH Skincare.
They won.
You guys
in
are in
respect.
the market for some skincare products. I'm
Look,
sure.
I'm with you. Like when I see stuff like this, it makes me cringe. But like our job is not to just give our first takes on this and then stick with it. My first take was the same as yours. Mine is to look at it deep, in a deeper sense. And they've certainly come out of this better off than they were before as a brand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, good on them. I don't care about their job. It's just the video itself is so goddamn.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they own that though.
Yeah.
So I mean, at least they're owning the fact that it's cringy.
Yes.
And they're not, trying
LOL
to
so
take
random.
themselves too seriously.
LOL so random is a hallmark of the millennial generation, right? You can thank BuzzFeed and you can thank Reddit and you can thank all of these platforms creating that sense of humor.
Fake tan hands in a hoop. Fake tan hands in a hoop.
All right, let's. That ended up being so much more charitable to it than I thought it was ever going to go.
Yeah.
I guess
We're growing and we're learning.
Yeah, I guess I'm learning.
Okay, Drewish AF said Mary's dyslexic simp army untie. Get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the dyslexic one here, so I would have actually read it as unite.
Serenko Productions said, yeah, Cartoon Network shut down their Burbank branch, which was shown in the pic. Source, it's my hometown, LOL. Also, more Burt Culture Crisis, please.
We can do that.
They want to see you more.
Shout out to Burbank.
Shadow Zero said, it could just be as simple as rich dudes found the way to meet an influencer and get a tax write-off. That's true.
Yeah.
They would have spent that money on Pokimane anyway, but you might as well get a tax write-off out of it. Tacty Platty said, Brett, could you play Chris Skibbity Biden, please?
Under the
You've seen Skibbity Biden, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
We get to 4 crisis parties. I'll put us through Skibbity Bide again, and somebody will have to send me the link.
Please don't get to 4 crisis. I don't know.
Okay, there's the wager. If we make it to 4, then we'll show Chris Skibbity Biden. There's the official wager.
Okay.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, feet people are weird. Stop it. Get help.
Yeah.
I wish they would, but I think it's like a brain condition, right?
I have no idea.
They did the science.
They scienced it.
Like sometimes I think they said like their neurons between like foot sensation and arousal are like their wires are crossed.
I don't
and
need
it's like
science to know
they're
that.
like
What was
born that way.
What was the movie where Matt Damon says, I gotta science the shit out of this? Was that The Martian? That was when we officially lost everyone. That's when science became a cult religion.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said, Brett said Mocha was adorable. We're getting to him.
Yeah, but I didn't show a picture.
But you admitted it.
She looked adorable in one singular instance. Look, anybody can look adorable, in a picture.
Once in their life.
Yeah.
Zach Yandel said, this is a true weeb. Never call an anime enjoyer a weeb and shame anyone who does for watering down a term of shame.
For shame.
The weeb is only someone who starts acting like an anime character. If you don't act like an anime character, you're not a weeb.
I thought weeb just meant you were a fan of anime.
I mean, I basically use it as that.
Yeah.
Sorry to any of the anime enjoyers in the chat, but you're a weeb. BMF Nate Dogg said, I forgot cringe was a verb until Brett said that.
Yes. Yeah. We cringed.
Yes. Okay, I think this was a 20 that we missed.
Did we miss one?
I'm sorry. Ulvin Crow sent a 20 earlier saying, I wanted to give Philly cheesesteak music suggestions. So here, a Russian post-punk called Srub.
Okay.
2 local bands, Detroit 442 and a friend's band, Second Salem. You should get Aurelio Voltaire on the show. Also, Demonatrix.
Well, all right then.
Okay, thank you for this.
What about Metatron?
We haven't brought up Metatron again.
Yeah.
Yorishima Otaru said, just remember, PETA ends 90% of rescue animals.
That's true. Oh,
yeah.
And, back to the 20 post-punk. Apparently, Disney is releasing a pop-punk album.
What do you mean?
Let me see if I can.
What do you mean Disney is releasing a pop-punk album? Like, what is that?
I saw this on Instagram today.
What?
Yep. Maybe like the thing about
who is in the.
Nope. 3 days ago, new Disney releases first single and artwork for A Whole New Sound. Get it? A Whole New World. Disney pop punk album.
Why is this a
I don't
thing?
know. I'm here for the pop punk resurgence, but I don't know about this.
Yep. For some, it reminds us of watching Disney films as kids or watching them. So what, they're taking famous Disney songs
and making them pop punk.
Who's gonna make the Hakuna Matata pop punk version?
A Day to Remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're clearly trying to appeal to the millennial audience.
Okay, so here it is. Great news. The first single from the album has just been released. It's a reimagined version of Can You Feel the Love Tonight from The Lion King, performed by Simple Plan.
Oh, no, no.
Yes!
No.
I'm not against it.
I'm against it.
I'm not. It's Simple Plan.
I like pop punk. I am against this.
I'll give it a listen.
I stand in opposition to this.
I'll check it out.
They're going after all of the kids who grew up in the suburbs and hated where they were from. Got to get out of this awful town. It's just the nicest suburb you've ever seen in your entire life.
Zach Yandel said, "Woo pig suey." He's
Okay.
trying to do pig calls right now. If you expected me to read that in pig call voice, you were wrong. Tacty Platty said, Chris, the day after tomorrow had downtown LA destroyed early on. Also, are you more afraid of twisters now or less after seeing the movie?
Yeah, that was pretty satisfying to watch LA just get destroyed. But I've always been afraid of twisters. I'm from California, obviously, so like earthquakes. I was in the Northridge earthquake in '94.
Wildfires.
Yeah, those are like, okay, yeah, it's light work. But the tornadoes out here, I'm just like, am I going to die? Everybody's all calm, and I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna die.
I take the same approach.
We're not in
to,
tornado country.
No, I take the same approach to tornadoes that I do to airplanes. I'm not important enough to die in such a unique way.
See, you say that, but now you're jinxing it.
Like, I'm
It's gonna
not
happen.
like, it's like the idea that I'm going to have some cool story of how it all ends is just not realistic. So,
Then
like,
they're going to make YouTube video
if
essays
I-
about you and
if
say,
I
the
die-
downfall of Brett
should be
Dasovic.
studied. Like, if I have to, if I die, like me and a cow are being thrown around in a tornado, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
It's like one of those like bull riding things, but you're like doing it in the tornado.
I'm still terrified of it. I have no experience with them.
Wow, big one from Trudy Jones, who just gave us Skibbity Biden. Holy crap.
Thank you. He said 4 Skibbity Biden. That's 2 crisis parties in one. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna have to find Skibbity Biden now.
I guess we didn't prepare for this.
Lol, it already is like shown on my thing. It's like
It's
something
already
I
in your
searched
recommended
before.
search.
Here we go.
Skibbity Biden.
Skibbity Biden. Skibbity Biden. Skibbity Biden. Joe. Skibbity Biden. Hitler's language. Trump is using Hitler's language. Trump is using Hitler's language. Skibbity.
What?
There you have
Was
it.
that AI?
I don't know.
Do you know what Skibbity Toilet is?
No. What?
You don't know
What
what
the hell did I
Skibbity
just
Toilet
watch?
is?
You're a better man for not knowing.
Yeah, so there's this channel called Da Fuck Boom on YouTube,
Excuse
and
you.
we don't know who runs it, but basically, it's all of these animations that are made in Gary's mod, and I'm saying so many words right
I
now.
have no idea what you're talking about.
They're like Mary's
I
just
feel
saying
like an
words at
immigrant
this point.
at the DMV right now.
So, basically, there's a war in this animated series between the camera guys who have cameras and megaphones for heads, and they're in a war for the planet against the Skibbity toilets. Thank you.
We love the brain rot.
I'm
We
so
live for
confused
it.
right now.
They're in a war.
I'm so.
Should we show him one of the videos?
I don't know.
We should show him Skibbity Toilet to help him understand.
see if I
But
can-
basically, they're in a war for control of the planet with the Skibbity Toilets, who they have toilets for bodies, and they have human heads in the toilets. And they sing.
10 days ago, Skibbity Toilet 76.
Show us the new episode then.
Bertman's like, this is awesome. What are you talking?
Yeah.
This is what Gen Alpha is watching.
What the fuck am I watching?
Imagine all the money Hollywood is spending on allegory and story.
When it could just be this.
It could just be doing this! Cool.
That's a good video.
1000% cooler than anything Stephen Colbert does.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yes. That's a Skibbity toilet.
All right, I'm in.
That's yeah.
I'm in. Cool.
What? Oh, we got him. Damn.
You see, you're getting into it.
Oh, no way. Yeah. Hell yeah.
See, there's a camera guy.
What's up, big head? What's going on?
There's a camera
They
guy.
need to do, you know what they need to do? They need to do a crossover with the Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
If we could ever find out who actually runs this channel.
Correct.
Okay, how is this connected to the...
Well, connected to
What?
Skibbity Biden?
Yeah.
So people were talking about Skibbity Toilet, and then Stephen Colbert, used Skibbity Toilet as the template for Skibbity Biden.
So that was a Colbert video?
Yeah.
The first one, the Skibbity Biden one was.
They aired that on television.
People got paid for that?
Yes.
People got paid for that.
Yes. So I would assume it's not AI generated. It's just Biden as one of the Skibbity Toilets.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That was
a lot to take
that
in.
was
So are you
Skibbity
okay?
Toilet.
You doing okay over here?
I don't know.
That was
Okay,
Skibbity
you're gonna need
Toilet
some time to
76 part 1.
process and let it sink in. But it seemed like you were into it. Seems
The
like you
second
liked
one, yes.
Skibbity Toilet, yeah.
Yeah, first one.
Not Skibbity Biden.
Andrew K says boomers interpreting Gen Z humor. I don't know if
Yeah.
we did some segment recently where we were talking about like when we did the Gen Z brain rot one and they called us all old. I'm like, well, it's fine to call me old, but like you're literally Gen Z. You're the generation we were talking about. And they're like, it's like it doesn't matter how old you are, you're too old for anything.
Well, Skibbity Toilet really is for Gen Alpha, not Gen Z. Gen Alpha is the next one after Gen Z, and this is what they're watching.
That's like their sense of humor?
They're not watching Ren and Stimpy. They're watching Skibbity Toilet. So, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's supposed to be a good thing or a bad thing.
I don't know.
For the future. Just educating you. All right. Back to the super chats. Wait, should you manually do the fourth party? I think we only got 3.
No, I did the third one manually, so the fourth one should come.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, been a while since we reset the Justified counter.
Well, everyone should go watch it.
So there's a House one, there's a Justified one.
Look,
there used to be one for The Wire, but you don't really mention The Wire that much.
654 episodes. I'm sorry I don't like 654 TV shows so that I can give you 654 unique references every day.
Thank you.
I like what I like.
Dance through the rage. I ran out of money over here.
Yep.
Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, last I checked, King Edward was a pasty white dude who died at 15, and Jane was his successor to keep Mary from taking the throne and restoring Catholicism. It's one of those things you kind of just you skate over it in high school history class.
Well, plus, like, look,
vaguely familiar.
The YA author heard that and was like, boring. Not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Francisco Sanchez Jr. The Rumbling said, oh yeah, a woke version of Knight's Tale. Not.
Look, there's like I said, go watch Merlin if you want to watch alt history. And
I couldn't get through more than 2 episodes of Merlin.
Just too silly.
It just, the production.
That's what I love about it.
Low.
I love how bad the production value is.
It wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't getting me interested. Look, I can overlook the bad production, but it wasn't interesting enough for me to keep going.
If they made that show now, it would have like these sweeping CGI sets.
Everything's so overproduced now. It's
yes,
like, it looks fake.
Yes, I like that it looks like it was shot at like a Ren fair.
That's why you love Velocipaster.
Yes.
By the way, I did end up watching the HBO Max docu-series about the Ren fair, and it was riveting.
Was it?
I recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something Mary likes.
The power struggle for who's going to inherit the Ren fair empire, it drew me in.
Like it looks like a Renaissance fair with dialogue, and I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
Corey Anderson said, "Ladies, that isn't a blowy." Okay, in Australia, it's different.
What?
She says that in the video of the thing. I don't remember.
Because she was referring to her hair,
yeah,
her blowout, calling it a blowy, because they're Australian.
That means something different in different places.
Well, they call flip-flops thongs over there, so I don't even know what they're on. The next one,
Sorinco Productions.
Sorinco Productions said Superchats go to Hannah Claire's bank account. Still true.
Yes, everything. If we get to a 5th crisis party, we'll just put that money straight into Hannah Claire's bank account.
It just automatically deposits.
Yep.
Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said Brett jumps out the window to avoid doing a TikTok and needs the wheelchair from My Lady Jane.
Yes. Perfect.
Sorinco Productions said, speaking of which, when is HCB PCC coming back?
Well, that's not a... That one's never going to stick.
HCB PCC doesn't really have a ring to it.
Look,
she's a busy woman, so we're not sure.
She's a very
You should
busy
go
woman
ask
these
her.
days. Yeah.
How about that?
You should encourage her to do so.
Yeah. Red Snow said 4 cringes. That's not praising Space King. You know, we have an abundance of cringe and we need to share it with you guys.
We do.
No Diggity said PCC and a caribou. PCC and a caribou.
Okay. It does have a better ring than PCC in a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Do you know what caribou is? Do they have caribou coffee in California?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't see them out here.
They're not out here. Zach said, The Day After Tomorrow is one of my favorite movies of all time. You rock, Brett. Great taste.
Yes.
Did not care for it at all.
Yeah.
No.
When did you see it?
About a week ago, but I've been on like a disaster movie
Wait,
tear.
so like it was your
You've
first time?
been on a disaster movie tear?
Okay, so here's my thing, right? Like it is a lot easier to take in Hollywood propaganda when you're younger.
Yeah.
And then laugh at it later than it is to watch it later. Though I do think that it's easier to, even as you're older, if you're acutely aware of it, you're going to give it more leeway if you know it was made at a different time than if it's new. Right?
Yeah.
But I think if you would have seen it when you were younger and you weren't being bombarded with climate change propaganda or global warming propaganda for decades, then you would have taken a more favorable view of it.
Maybe.
Charlene Ferguson said, Happy National Hot Dog Day. Will you have a wiener today to celebrate? You gonna have an Anne's Frank hot dog?
Yeah.
Let's go.
No. What other disaster movies have you been watching lately?
We just watched Volcano, and the movie...
I keep seeing it advertised on Hulu, and I've never watched it.
So, okay, it was pretty good. I liked it. It was funny because the epicenter of the earthquake that starts the volcano, they're like, it started in Palmdale. That's where I'm from. Shout out to Palmdale. And I'm like, makes sense to me. We got the San Andreas fault right there.
You should have watched Independence Day over the 4th of July. That's a disaster movie.
I don't think we've ever seen it. I'll probably have to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I went on like a 10-minute diatribe recently.
Wait, no, tell them the freaking IMDb trivia story. It must be told, please. I'm
not going to tell them
it's the most Brett story I've ever heard. Please tell
I was watching an episode of a show. And I went and looked up this episode on IMDb trivia. On IMDb, I went
as you are wont to do.
As I am wont to do. And I noticed an interesting piece of trivia on it. I said, "Wow, that's really interesting." And I looked at it again and realized that was one of mine. I submitted that piece of trivia.
You had no memory of the fact that you were the one who put it there.
Like a year or two prior.
Funny. You were like, "That's really interesting. This person must be
smart. Like,
who posted this?
Like, got to the details.
This guy was cooking."
And then I went back and I'm like, "Oh, that was me."
Yeah, it's the most Brett Dasovic thing I've ever heard.
But anyways, I went on like a 10-minute diatribe recently about how the movie Independence Day isn't about aliens. It's not about the destruction of the world. It is about lovers being reunited and finding themselves again. So you've got President Whitmore, who is separated from his wife. You've got Will Smith's character, who's separated from his stripper girlfriend, and you've got Jeff Goldblum, who's separated from his ex-wife, who works for the president. And the whole movie is about them being separated and finding themselves once again. Several to positive outcomes, one to a tragic outcome, and it's a beautiful thing.
Multifaceted love story.
That's why the movie works, right? It's not just about disasters and aliens, it's about love.
Corey Anderson said Ian wants Tim to get Brad Pitt on IRL. Y'all should get J.K. Rowling.
The chances of that happening are about as
I'll
much.
send her a DM.
Those chances are very high. They're about as high as me filming a TikTok for PCC.
Okay. Tacty Flatty said, Bert now knows how I feel listening to the youth. I'm so glad y'all helped traumatize him. Thank you, everyone. Special shout out to Trudy Jones.
Thank you, Trudy. Trudy Jones is always down to help.
To Trudy Jones. That was much appreciated. Surinko Productions said, show Bert the first Skibbity video for contrast.
Look, now we're just torturing him.
Go to the oldest.
We get to the 5th crisis party and we'll show him the first.
Yeah, when we get to 5, we'll do that.
Yes.
Go find the oldest video they posted, because I'm sure that the production quality has gone up over time. So we're gonna see their humble roots. Shane H. Wilder said, "Person of interest, Royal Pains." Yes, those definitely have counters as well.
We're watching Royal Pains right now.
Yep.
I'm watching Royal Pains right now. Just selfishly, Person of Interest isn't on any streaming service it's not on any that doesn't have ads. So there are some shows, like I've gotten really okay with looking at ads for certain shows. I don't know what it is. If it's a show I've never seen before, I'm okay with watching it with ads.
Because you're less invested.
Yeah. And also I've already seen this one without it. So why would I now want to suddenly see it with a bunch of interruptions going through it? But also, like, it's only Roku. Any of the other ones, I can't stand it. Like, there's just too many ads on most of them. The Roku channel seems to have, like, half the time, I think they just don't even, like, it shows, like, how many ads are supposedly, it doesn't even play them half the time. Like, it's just 5 ads and only 3 ads play.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Weird.
It's like the big ask, right? They're like, oh, well, you sit through 5 ads. Well, here, we're only going to show you 3. Now I have this unbelievably favorable approach to watching Roku.
Prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
They don't really bother me as much as I thought they were going to, but we were watching that new Gypsy Rose document. I identify as a wine mom when it comes to true crime.
Okay.
So we're watching it, and I think it was on like the Lifetime app or something like that. Oh my God, they had commercials every 5 minutes.
Anything that's on an app is like the CW app. Like you're gonna get tons and tons.
So there's a documentary about Gypsy Rose.
It's a docu-series. Girl, let me tell you.
Was it the act, or do you mean like an actual docu-series?
Like an actual docu-series about her life after getting out of prison.
Oh.
Let me tell you, girl needs to chill out.
I mean, yeah, we've been talking about it.
Yeah.
A little bit, but now she's pregnant.
Boo Boo, what is you doing? Okay.
What's your take?
What are you doing?
So she gets out of prison.
Yeah.
She, divorces her husband that she married while she was in prison.
I make that part make sense. Why did you get married in the first? I don't know, but
I don't know.
It makes sense.
Why would you get married to someone who's in prison? I don't know from the guy's perspective why he would do that.
I had no opinion of her family when she got out because the story was around her. And the more you get to know their family, it's just like, oh, you guys just like putting yourselves in her life too. Like, stop that. You're all horrible.
They're all crazy.
You're all crazy.
I mean, if I were her, I wouldn't be talking to my family anymore because they all seemed crazy.
It was the dad side of the family. So they were kind of removed what was going on with her mom. So I understand that part.
Yeah.
But even still, it's just like, well, now that makes sense why she was able to take over because you were just so hands off with your daughter.
So what you're saying is you really think she's awesome and that she should
I'm saying I can't get enough of this.
So she's with her ex now, and now she's pregnant.
Yes.
Married and pregnant.
Yes.
Here's my problem with all of it. Now she's like, people need to stop coming to my house and people need to stop looking at me. Like, you don't get to advertise yourself and then get mad at people for watching the freak show.
She said, she's like, I just wanted to live, be a wife and do. But then you signed up for Lifetime.
No, she's like,
and then you were on the Kardashians.
Oh, she says, I just want to be left alone. Go watch my new documentary.
You were on every morning show, and you did everything. Like, you had a whole press tour as soon as you got out of your cell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. I don't really sympathize at that point.
I can't stop watching it, though.
I bet people would be stalking her even if she didn't do a press tour.
It wouldn't be as significant.
It wouldn't be as bad.
Probably.
Yeah. Yorishima Otaru said, I prefer 2 days before the day after tomorrow. Shane H. Wilder said, all right, disaster movie recommendation, Dante's Peak. Although what happens to the grandma is still one of the most heart-wrenching moments in cinema.
That's on the list.
Now, technically, like, I want to get into an argument with somebody like, pretty much all superhero movies are disaster movies now anyways. So everything ends in a freaking skybeam.
Yeah.
I hate skybeams.
Yeah.
Tacti Plani said, Sigh, next year we'll watch Independence Day, Bert, and you give me crap for not knowing weird, annoying millennial things.
He doesn't. ... He doesn't.
I do recommend watching Independence Day.
He didn't know who CKY was.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, you're not a millennial. Never mind.
I don't.
You're not a millennial.
Who is that?
Oh, jeez.
Well, Brett is a millennial, so he should know that.
It would be like not knowing what who Bam Margera is.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wasn't aware of who Bam Margera
Oh
was.
well, there you go.
Until you told me. And then I started watching Viva La Bam, and I was like, this is awesome.
It's amazing. And I was like, right? It's so good.
Yeah, it is.
See, the thing is the brain rot was strong even in millennials, right? Like they had
Well, when I watch that show, it makes me feel happy because it's just like, you know, people who are just living in the moment. No one's looking at their phones.
Yeah. But also people are like, oh, like millennials had ridiculousness, right? Well, boomers had America's Funniest Home Videos. Yeah. So every generation has their own version of something.
Sure. Omega Red fan said, Randy Quaid reunites with the aliens. One love. I'm back. Happy Independence Day.
That's true. He does. So he gets to reunite with the aliens that abducted him in the movie as well. So it really is all about finding your way home.
Olvin Crow said, my friend and I grew up watching Gmod Idiot Box.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that
It's a precursor to Skibbity Toilet, I
Okay.
suppose, since it's in Gary's mod.
We are very close to that 5th Crisis party. We're almost there if we want to show him that video before we're done. But we got one more there for
I
Zach
want to
Yandel.
show Chris the video, so. Zach Yandel said, weeaboo, a person who retains an unhealthy obsession with Japan and Japanese culture, typically ignoring or even shunning their own racial and cultural identity. That's from Urban
Isn't
Dictionary.
That generally what anime people who go out of their way to tell you they're an anime fan do?
Yes.
Okay, so we're not wrong.
So, like, it's definitely a majority of anime enjoyers that qualify as weeaboos.
Yeah.
There's a 20 there from Dreamcast Night.
Oh. He said, fun fact about Palmdale, California, the giant windmill off the freeway has never worked, and the Palmdale Water District wasted $3 million to go to Norway instead of $1 million from Edison. Edison was literally 10 miles away.
It's the most California thing I've ever heard in my... That is the most California government thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I'll do you one better. The mayor of California, Steve Hoffbauer, they usurped his power, and they just said that the mayorship is going to be a revolving door of city council members now because they did not like him. It was insane.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's kind of base.
Like, he was pretty cool too. Like, out of all the mayors,
Oh.
we had the last mayor, like Ledford, and he was kind of like a boomer con. But this guy, Steve Hoffbauer, like, he was solid. I did not mind him at all. And then just gone.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached...
Here we go.
Speaking of which, thank you. Is that the oldest one?
I don't know. This one says it's just a year ago now, but it says...
No, you gotta go to Defuck Boom, and then you go to uploads.
This is, but I mean, it's on his channel. It says...
Go to all of the uploads and then do oldest.
Okay.
Then just go to the first one, I guess.
Is that this one?
Yeah, I guess so.
7 years ago?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
Take your order, please. I'll have 45, number 9. A number 9 extra large. A number 6 extra large with 45 extra large tip. A number 7 with extra number 9 tip. A number 45, one with extra large cheese. An extra large tip cheese soap.
It costs $400,000.
Oh shit! CJ! Help me!
Oh shit! Damn! Motherfucker!
Okay.
Okay then.
That's Gen Z humor?
That felt like Grand Theft Auto to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. That wasn't Skibbity Toilet though. So like
I just went to the oldest video they had, like it told me to do. But when I just typed in season 1, that's not what came up. It was.
well, I guess show us that.
Yeah,
then.
hold on.
Let's see.
go back, and I can.
It's just weird music.
No, it's on the channel there. So it was like literally like that. This just said season 1
What
full
the
screen.
heck is going on What the heck is going on you?
Ah! I didn't mute this. It muted
Why
itself.
is it muted?
It muted itself. Copyrighted, maybe?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is Skibbity Toilet. This
yeah.
is what it is.
I'm afraid to use a urinal now.
Yeah.
They might pop out and
Yeah.
attack you.
Why?
No, they edited
Whatever
it
the
out.
music is must be copyrighted.
I guess so.
There's just a toilet there.
Yeah, that's a Skibbity Toilet.
What the heck is going on you?
That song they must use repeatedly, and then it's just
Yeah.
copyrighted. All right.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm so confused.
Got what
is
you
this?
asked for. Shane H. Wilder said, let me know what you think of Dante's Peak, Chris.
Oh yeah, it's on the list. We're gonna watch it at some point.
Sorenko Productions said this isn't Skibbity Toilet.
I think he's
Well,
referring
we
to
showed the
first one.
second video, so that would qualify as
All right.
Skibbity Toilet.
All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already? Please and thank you. And Chris, thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'm a writer for Scanner News, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at. See, I said Twitter, not X. You can find me on Twitter /X Twix,
Yes.
and Instagram at ManOfBert. And thank you, guys.
Does Tim own like he should buy the Scanner News? Does Scanner News like own like actual scannernews.com?
SCNR.
I know, but
Yes.
they should buy the other ones too.
Spelled out Scanner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
You should tell him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just have it redirected.
We'll
to
let him
SCNR.
know.
Yeah.
You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived.
All right, guys, I am on Instagram and Twix at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. Remember to submit your cute of the day, #PCCPets, to me on there because I want to add more of your adorable pets for this show. Remember, we are here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen to this show rather than watch, and if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at PopCulture_show, Facebook and not TikTok because we were banned on TikTok at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Mary, there's one more there.
Shane H. Wilder said Bertman looks terrified. Same Bertman. Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
They can relate.
Pretty scared, man.
All right, with that being said, there's one more
another
there from Shane H. Wilder.
Also sent you some cute of the day. Thank you.
Perfect. Guys, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.